All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is what we've got going for today. All right. I know that we've spent a majority of our time, or I should say all of our time last week, not necessarily diving into world studies slash world history. We've been focusing more on like evaluating online pieces of information. That's partially because we're going to be doing a lot of that, looking at online information in class, and also because I was kind of hoping that this week we'd be back in person in class rather than online, but that's not the case. So what we're going to do today, we're actually going to dive into a little bit of content. All right. So the first thing, hopefully you've already done, is taken that little quick quiz, Google Doc, the examining credibility and quality of evidence. If you haven't done that, I shouldn't say Google Doc, Google Form. If you haven't done that Google Form yet, I want to make sure that you go back and you do that first. All right. So make sure that you get that Google Form that I posted today done first. Then what we're going to do is I've got a little spiel that I'm going to go through, a little video lesson that I want to teach you, introducing democracy, because what we're going to be doing, the first kind of big unit that we're going to be doing, or I should say not big, but bigger unit, is going to be looking at ancient Athens and ancient Rome. These were two of kind of the first. This is a lot of Athens and Rome were both around in the time BCE, before the Common Era. So if you go back, like we're in the year 2020, if you go back 2020 years, the year was year zero, but there's still time before year zero. So we're talking about 500 years before the year zero. So we're talking about 2,520 years ago. When ancient Athens first created the very, very first democracy. And then what happened was another ancient place called Rome, which was around about the year zero, so about 2,000 years ago, they also created a democracy. And we're going to kind of compare Athens' democracy to Rome's democracy, and you're going to have to answer which was more democratic. But you don't have to do that today, because today, for the purposes of this little activity, all I want you to be able to do is to be able to understand, like, what is democracy. Okay, what is democracy for right now? Okay, so here's my little spiel. Democracy, all democracy means is it's a government. So it's a way of ruling people. So we have like a government. You can talk about, we've got like President Trump, who is in charge of our government. We have our national government. We've got Joni Ernst, who's in charge, or Joni Ernst, who's a senator. We have Chuck Grassley, who's a senator. We have Kim Reynolds, who is the governor of Iowa. We've got a bunch of different like parts of our government, people that are in charge of our government. And what we've got here is democracy is a way that the government gives power to the people. Okay, so democracy simply means power to the people. So when I ask the question, who is more democratic, Athens or Rome? Essentially what I'm asking is, in which place did the government give the most power to the people, Athens or Rome? Okay, so democracy, simply power to the people. So, for example, in the United States, the number one way in the United States that people show that they have power is through voting. All right. So coming up here this November, you all probably know that we have a new presidential election where we will vote on either President Trump, President Biden, or in some states, I think Iowa was one of these states, you can actually vote for Kanye West for president. So democracy in the United States, the way that people have power is we essentially get to choose through voting who is in charge. All right. However, there's different ways that different countries and different ancient places gave power to the people. And it was actually kind of cool. In ancient Athens, they used to have a place called the Pnyx. That is this location right here. It's essentially like a little dome, almost looks like a football field. And what they would do here is a bunch of people, a bunch of citizens, and you'll learn about what a citizen is here going forward. But a bunch of citizens in Athens used to meet here, and they used to vote on not just who was in the government. They used to vote on a whole bunch of different things, like whether or not Athens went to war, how much they were going to pay in taxes. they got to vote on what countries they were going to trade with. And what happened here was Athens was kind of the first place that tried a democracy, giving power to the people. And you're going to be learning about that here moving forward. But what I want you to do right now that you've listened to this little mini lesson, I want you to go ahead and go back to Google Classroom and post your answer, your response to what does democracy mean in your own words. Thanks.